What's up, guys? Coach Ben here. This is a special podcast episode. I'm here with the great Ryron Gracie, Jim from Jiu-Jitsu Mag. We're inside Gracie University here in Torrance. I really got a lot of good feedback last podcast episode of Ryron. He talked about mindset, ego, how to apply that on the mats, and I had a ton of questions about the system, right? It's one thing to know what to do in your head, but then you still need to have the moves. You still have to have a direction.
Yeah, you want to see it and you want to feel it.
Correct.
Let's do that. You guys, thank you so much for being here, for playing with me. And yes, last talk that we had was great in terms of the ego. So then I thought, man, we talked about getting on the mat and how can we, because the ego generally pushes us to behave one way. How can we take that same ego and kind of manipulate it to get us to behave another way? And there are many examples and many positions, but we chose a few. And we can start with, for example, the side control. So when you are on top of side control, Ben, let's say you pass the guard and you get to side control. Okay, what's the first thing on your mind? What do you want to do when you land up here? I'm asking this question to you, the viewers, as well as to the two of you. So what's on your mind? What do you want to do right now? What does the ego want to do?
I want to attack. I'm looking at this arm. I'm looking at the neck. I'm looking to get under. I'm looking to mount. To me, it's a dominant position.
Dominant position, so that means it's time to go. It's time to do big things. Now, I do agree that this is a position that allows you to do all of those things, okay? The question is this, that when we land here, okay, let's say that we're rolling, you and I have been training for a long time, you've been training for a long time, two very experienced people. If we land here, go. And let's say right now, go ahead and do all of those things that you want, do whatever you want, like go to work, go ahead. And I'm just gonna go like, So if you noticed, good. What I did was, it's not even what I would normally do. What I did was what somebody who is maybe strong, skillful, not wanting to be on their back would do. I even exposed my back to get off my back, which is a sign of true discomfort on your back. You see that? I turned my back to him, not a smart move. But nonetheless, I escaped.
Right.
So now we go again. So the question is, when you side mount somebody, what do they want? What do I want down here? What do I want to do? What do you think?
Get your frames back.
Even better, if you're laying down and you're over here, what do you landed and go. What's your move?
I want to connect elbow knee.
Connect elbow knee because you want to, he wants to get out. So, the point is this, no matter wherever you land, whether you're on top or bottom, what you want to do is he wants to go somewhere.
Yes.
You're trying to escape when you're on the bottom, and when you're on top, you want to attack. So because I know this about people in general, we all know this. What does that mean? That means that when I land on top of you, what do you think I want to do when I land on top of you?
Stop me from doing those things.
Correct. So my ego thinks it can win. I have an opportunity to win. For example, let's say that I pushed Henner in here right now, which I'm pretty sure it's harder to hold Henner down than you. And I know that because I've been playing with him my whole life. And if I put Henner down here, how long can I hold him down for? How long do you think?
I don't know. How long?
Guess.
A minute? A minute?
No,
Maybe?
it's a little long.
30 seconds?
Yeah, 20, 30 seconds is amazing. Now the question is, will I have an easier time controlling him if he is trying to escape or he is being still?
We have an easier time controlling him.
Yes. If he's not moving, it's going to be easier to hold him down. Obviously,
Yes.
if he's not moving.
Yes.
And if he's moving, it's going to be hard to hold him down because he has good escapes.
Right.
Now, even better, I should rephrase that question. Will it be easier for him to escape if I'm only holding him or if I'm trying to submit him, control his arm, go for his neck, go for that arm, or mount him? Will it be easier if I'm only holding or if I'm attacking the way that you were?
If you're attacking, it's going to be harder because that's going to create space, right?
That's what I want to put on to the test. Question. That's what I want to question. I don't agree. I believe that it's easier to escape when the person on top is moving, attacking, advancing, and doing. Okay? So for example, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna be right here.
So right now my ego
wants to get out. Correct.
I don't want to be here.
And my ego only wants to hold you down. Because in my mind, you are Henner. I only want to hold you for 30 seconds. Ask me if I want to submit you. Ask me.
You want me to submit?
No, ask me if I want to submit you.
You want to submit me.
I don't want to submit you.
Okay.
Ask me if I want to mount you.
Would you like to mount?
Absolutely not.
Just holding.
I don't want to choke you, armbar, nothing. I only want to hold you.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I want to get out.
Yes. So you want to get out even though I'm in full hold mode.
Yeah.
Go. I only want to stay on top. It's all I want to do. I just want to stay here. I just want to keep him down. 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 Keep him down. I just want to keep him down. The question is, how long?
Getting pretty tired.
How long are you going to fight for? How long is anybody going to fight for? That's not only the question, but that is the slight problem. Because if you're willing to try to escape for a minute and a half straight, what does that mean?
I'm burning energy.
It means you're burning energy, but that tells us that you don't want to be on your back.
Right.
But why not?
You know, it's just something that I feel like was ingrained.
I understand. You're right.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm probably behind on points. You know, if I'm talking about sport, I'm probably in a position where I could get submitted. It's very difficult for me to submit you. So in my head, I'm thinking, I got to get out of here. I'm losing.
Yes.
You know, and I don't think that's, you know, the mindset that you have.
Yeah, the mindset that I have is, of course, points is not the priority, right? It's not the focus.
Correct.
But so back to the position. If you notice, my ego, there's no doubt that my ego enjoys arm locking people and choking people and so on. But my ego also wants to see what I can do before that. So before that, I think only about control. If you notice, I changed sides a few times. If you, in the middle of the commotion, I got to the other side, maybe my ego wants to know if I can hold side control for 30, 40 seconds. Can I go from side control to knee on belly, to north-south, back to side control, to knee on belly? Can I change positions? Can I change side to side? Can I hold you down without doing this? Because I would like to have this. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like
Much different.
Yeah, this is more pressure.
Is it tighter?
It's tighter.
But
yeah.
I didn't do this. I was like this. I was a little more disconnected.
Right, I could feel your tension in the body in that position, but from when we were actually moving, it felt like, you know, you were ahead of me, and also you were doing something strange that I never felt before either, which is you wouldn't let me go to turtle.
I wouldn't let you go to turtle.
You pulled my base every time.
Yes, I controlled. As you try to roll away, roll. I think if I roll that way,
you're
cut
pulling my leg.
this
Yeah,
tricep,
exactly.
and I hug your leg, and I hold your legs. But the point being is that my ego wants to see how little I can do to keep you from turtling, to keep you from getting out. My ego wants to know how little grips I need. I know that it would be nice to have this grip and my shoulder driving in your face, but I know that I may lose that. So what can I make happen? Go ahead, reach underneath, I hug your thigh. Go ahead, turn underneath, turn. Other way. Turn. Go back again, go back down. But maybe if I hold your thigh, turn now.
No, not happening.
Maybe if I hug this thigh, pick it up from the inside, not now. So these are different behaviors. Maybe I turn your chin. Maybe you want to roll your knees that way, roll that way. I hold your arm here.
Yeah, that's what
I control you from rolling away. So.
Yeah, that was more frustrating than, I would say, somebody who just goes and arm bars you right away.
There you go.
It's more frustrating for me.
So now we're proving the point.
Yeah.
If somebody arm bars you right away, they're giving you more windows of escape.
Right.
And that's what I'm suggesting is that, because everybody out there, all of you will one day find yourselves side mounted on somebody who is maybe a little bit more experienced than you are, a little bit heavier, someone that you haven't quite tapped out before, but you land on top. If your first thought is to submit them, I believe you are helping them.
100%.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
I believe that the way that you're gonna help yourself is that you instead say, I'm only gonna hold them down. I'm only gonna control. Now, when you control somebody, you might only be able to control them for 12 seconds. That's a long time, someone trying to get out. Now, when they escape, what's the feeling when they escape?
What the guy at the bottom?
No, when you're on top and you went to only control and then they get out. What do you feel?
It's a little demoralized, right?
The feeling could be a feeling of, dang, they escaped. Or it can be a feeling of, yeah, that was about 12, 15 seconds.
Okay.
And then next week, you go again. Ooh, 18 seconds.
Right.
Next week again. Ooh, 21 seconds. You see that? So instead, we need to completely, like I said, manipulate the ego. And the ego is thriving. You're feeding the ego by holding someone down.
You just hit something that I think is super important that I think people in Jiu-Jitsu, they don't think about as much, is there's many games within Jiu-Jitsu.
Battles. I say there's just hundreds of battles in one roll.
It's not just I submit you, you submit me.
Yes.
If I can even hold you down, let's say if we reverse the position, and I can hold you down for 10 seconds, but tomorrow I can hold you down for 11 seconds. I've played a game and I'm progressing. So that's brilliant. That's great.
And that's why I refer back to my brother, where I know at the 25, 30 seconds is unbelievable. If he's actually trying to get out the whole time, that's a long time. Even for someone to hold me down, anybody, for more than 30 seconds where I can't bring a leg in and recover guard, they're gonna have amazing control if they could hold me for 30 seconds. Now, so that's the thing, is to make that become hungry for those small games, those small battles, to get better at those. Because what happens is this, if you only kind of rate yourself, or you only feel good when you armbar somebody or footlock somebody, then you're not setting yourself up for lots of victories. But if you side mount somebody and you say, you know what, I'm only gonna hold them down, and then after 12 seconds they escape, you can say, you know what, I only held them down, it was for 12 seconds, mental note. And now you have something to work with, because you're not competing against anybody except for yourselves.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, ego and things that happen in life. It's not a single lane. This highway has multiple lanes, right? So if we use the same principle of you're on top and then the person's able to escape. So now you have to make an assessment on what just happened in a read. So now you are no longer the hammer, you are now the nail. You got caught in a reversal of some sort. So now, how do you play that game to the next level? It's like, I'm no longer in control, but no, now you're being controlled. How do we manage?
So you're saying when it changes,
If I were to get out, you're saying.
So if he was to escape, and I was end up on the bottom,
right?
So how do I behave in that change, in that quick change? You're saying? You are right that people can very easily continue in the same fight as when they were on top. They were feeling dominant and they were grinding the person's face a little bit. They're feeling good. Once it gets reversed and now they're on the bottom, the energy has shifted. You are now on the defensive. So to continue feeling like, yeah, I'm the man and I want to do, can result in you on the bottom burning a lot of energy and exposing yourself. So, and this is what's very important, is that to a certain degree, it becomes a little bit I believe, dangerous to label a position good or bad. So I don't label it good or bad. So let's say that he was able to reverse me from the side control, and then boom, band lands on top. What's my first thought when I get down here? It is not get out, frame, bump, legs, roll, turtle. It's none of those. My first thought when I get here is go. So it's to keep my elbows heavy to the ground. My elbows, I would like my elbows inside. It is a little safer, or underneath, let's say. This is good, but it's not a frame to escape. It's a frame to have my hands near my body. So my first thought is safety. Elbows tucked in, head heavy, feet posted, and like there's a push off of my feet and kind of drives my neck flat to the ground. And I know, because I know something about you. You want to do cool things.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to stop them. I just want to know what it is that you want. And when you go for it, I want to be ready for it. I do not want to get out of here. Matter of fact, I'm curious to know if there's something. Now remember, we're just talking about two friends training jiu-jitsu in the gym. 99% of your jiu-jitsu, maybe even more, is going to be you and your friends grappling in the gym. So I just want to know if there's anything that you can offer me. Can you surprise me? Anything I haven't seen before? Can you isolate my arm? Can you wrist lock me? Can you choke me? What are you going to do that I haven't seen? I would love to know. Imagine if I went boom, 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 and I escaped in 3 seconds. I have robbed myself of the opportunity to be tapped out and to be taught a lesson.
That's such a unique mindset, because most people, getting tapped out is almost on the list of worst things that can happen.
That's my ego.
Right.
My ego wants to know either A, he's not going to get me because I'm full awareness mode, or B, he'll get me and then I'll say, oh, look how he got me. And then what am I going to do? We stand back up and we spar again. I'm going to put myself right back in the same position because I want you to do it again. Because I know that when you do it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, that eventually I'm gonna make a small adjustment, and that adjustment will be more than enough to neutralize what you did the first time. So,
and that's a great mindset, because now I'm not your competition.
No,
I'm your teammate.
You never were my competition.
Exactly. In most gyms, though, people don't think this way.
You guys, remember, we're all here working together. That's what we're not here working against each other. We're here working together to better understand what is possible, right? What is possible on the mat in this game, and we're here to better understand ourselves. And hey, why is it that I'm fighting for 1.5 minutes to escape bottom of side control when the top person is only holding? Why do I do that? And then with enough time, you'll realize that you do that because you signed off. You signed on the agreement that bottom side control is bad. Bottom side control is not bad. Bottom side control is a place where yes, the top person is positioned to do X amount of submissions, and they can score points and they can advance their position, but it's not a bad place to be. There is no bad place. Now, if you were in a street fight, and we can say bottom side mount is bad, but even that is questionable because it's not bad. Bottom side control is a place where someone can potentially strike you. So we need to educate ourselves on how to stay safe from those punches and manage damage. But if you label it as bad and that's the end of it, then when you get side mounted by somebody who's 20, 30 pounds heavier, a belt higher, and they're holding you down, then you become the person that fights for 1.5 minutes straight, trying to escape. They're not even trying to submit you, they're only holding you. But it's all because you labeled it a bad position. Now you're on the move. And then when you move for 1.5 minutes, what happens after you can't escape 1.5 minutes later?
You die.
You're exhausted, which means you die, which means they go for a submission, and it's so much easier to catch because you just burnt energy for a minute and a half. Now, you saying that you die, and I said it also, that helps to feed the false story that bottom of the side mount is a bad place. See, the position is not bad. The mindset about the position can be dangerous.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die by not
it's all good. It's
overreacting.
Right.
Now, Ryron, real quick, before we started, we did a little rolling, and you were on the bottom, and this is something that, I would like you to show, but I have certain students that when I get to side control, or somebody better than them gets side control, they do kind of what you're doing, but it's not what you're doing, because what you're doing is effortless framing with the ground. The ground is acting like your friend. A lot of my students, not a lot, I would say a handful, when I pass or somebody passes, they tense up like this. And that is not what you're doing. It's not even in the same realm.
There are times where locking down like this makes sense.
Yes.
There are many different ways to keep your limbs, your neck safe. But what you're talking about is there was a moment where you were going for the Kimura right here.
Right.
And I had this foot posted on the ground, and I did this. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is unique because normally if I have your hand here, I'm getting under.
Go ahead and go under it. Shake my arm somehow. Bounce it, shake it, lift it, elevate it, cup it. Grab my gi too. Grab my gi, use it. Yeah.
There's a frame that's crazy here. I mean, you try, Jim. You're a stronger guy. Let's see you get the Kimura. Get the Kimura on him, Jim. Come on. Look at Ryron's face.
Oh, jeez.
Look at Ryron's face. Come on, Jim.
It's not to say that someone cannot possibly defeat this.
Right. It's already frustrating enough.
I've been beaten here before. I've lost this battle with a few people. But the point is that most people, this will deter 99%. My foot is grounded. I lift my hips up. I roll my weight into my left side, my left shoulder, left elbow, everything right here. I'm nailing it to the ground.
I mean, that's such a simple preventative defense.
Now, the reason why this is so difficult to do is because that contradicts with what?
Right. Turn in, push away.
You see that? Nailing things to the ground doesn't coincide with hipping out, framing, blocking, pushing, bumping, shrimping.
Right, that's never taught. I've never taught it.
You're directing the connection. It's all connected. You're connecting yourself to your buddy, which is the ground, using your resources.
And let me tell you this, there are times to bump and frame and shrimp and move away. There's a time for that, for sure. My feeling, my belief is that most people, they just go straight to that. The moment you land on your back, you're already telling yourself how bad it is and how you can't be caught flat on your back. You have to turn sideways. You gotta frame. You gotta turtle. You gotta this, you gotta that. That's not true. You don't have to do all those things. Matter of fact, when you do those things, you are helping the top person. And you can attest to that because you said, when I get here with most people, I get the Kimura. And the reason why is because when you grab the wrist, they move to free the wrist, and then they lift up space for you to get under the elbow. Yeah. You grab my wrist, and I knew that the wrist grab is only 2%.
Right.
Now, if I say, oh no, you got my wrist, then what happens? You beat the elbow.
Right. Even in my head, the wrist grab is like 90%. I'm like, oh, okay, this is 90%. The 10 is just that.
That's so good.
But then I was like, what's going on here? And
I love that you said that.
It's very strange.
When you grab my wrist, that was like 1%.
Right, to you it's 1%, and it probably is.
And to you it's 90.
To me it's 90.
Now it can be both.
Right,
it can very easily be the other.
Right, but if I think in how I think, but you have a system, I think I'm going to lean toward your more correct.
Yes.
I'm going to lean toward your side.
Now it's 90% against 99% of the world.
Right.
When you grab most wrists, they say, oh no, and you get more.
Right.
What I'm suggesting is that anybody out there, any one of you, can adopt this. Now, when you do something like this, when you make your elbows heavy to the ground, there's a good chance that you still lose. And when you lose, then you say, it didn't work out, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Instead of saying, it didn't work out. Let me try again, roll my body a little more sideways. Let me give it another try. Whenever going technical and being patient and slow and safe doesn't work, we very easily dismiss it and go back to explosiveness. But when being explosive and overly aggressive doesn't work, we say we weren't explosive enough, or we weren't over aggressive enough. We didn't attack hard enough. What I'm saying is that when being patient and safe and elbows nailed to the ground doesn't work, let's say, you know what, I wasn't nailed to the ground enough. It wasn't heavy enough. My weight wasn't distributed well enough. Don't just throw it away because it resulted in a submission. But that's the power of the submission. The power of getting, it feels so bad. It's so bad to get tapped out. I'm saying this kind of sarcastically. It's so bad to be tapped out that we cannot afford. Could you imagine if the next time someone gets side mounted, they nail their elbow to the ground, someone grabs their wrist, and they do that 3 times in a row? What if you get tapped out 3 times in a row? You're thinking it's not worth it. I'm telling you this, your elbow is becoming more and more familiar with how to be heavy and how to stop somebody from scooping it. Let's change positions. More about the ego. So my ego loves to know that you can't get under my elbow.
So with that, there's also the flip. You said it feels so bad getting submitted. What are the dangers of feeling so good? Like, I just ripped off 3 in a row on Ben just now, you know?
Meaning you got the submission?
You got the submission. How dangerous could that be when maybe there was Ben's slowly putting in research on, no, it's not working. He's doing his craft, but the dangers of falling into those pitfalls of comfortability.
Meaning you're getting submissions, so then because you're catching some, then you're going for more and more and more.
So we're talking about the dichotomies of the ego right now. Damn it, I just got submitted 3 times as opposed to I just ripped off 3 submissions.
I got the submission, I got it.
Right, who's learning? Who's learning from here?
Well, it's all about the level of awareness.
Right.
So it's all both can be learning in both all times. Mm-hmm. And I think about a position like the armbar, for example, like the end of the armbar right here. This final position where somebody has their legs over your body. What's your thought process right now? What do you want to do?
Here, I'm gonna try to cross. I'm gonna try to break. I'm trying to get this out. You know.
You're trying to take my arm back.
Yeah.
Yes, and remember, we said it earlier. If I'm side mounted on you, and I'm only holding you down, only controlling. That's option 1. Option 2 is I'm side mounted on you and I'm trying to submit you. Which one will be easier for you to escape? Me only holding or me trying to also submit you?
When you're trying to submit.
I believe so.
Right.
So let's now apply that here.
Right. So this is a position where I feel more comfortable, like holding and waiting for a reaction because I'm in such a dominant position.
Hold on, but you just said that you want to break the grip. You want to pull the arm back.
I do.
So do you want to pull the arm back or do you want to hold me here?
See, so the thing is, this is kind of like I want to. I would say 75% of the time,
take the arm.
I want to take the arm.
Great. So then let's lean on that direction then. So you want to take the arm. So go ahead and take the arm. Good. I'm gonna hold my hand. You can do whatever you want. You can peel my fingers. You can just. Yeah. Anything you want. And when you take it, go ahead and straighten it and finish it. Yeah. Take it, hold it, finish it.
So I did something there and you created space.
Yeah. So what did I want to do on the bottom?
To protect your arm.
Did I want to get out?
No. It didn't feel like
I didn't want to get out.
I gave you the path to get out.
When you asked me to escape, then I escaped. Now, most people down there, lay down, please.
And when you say ask, you mean like I gave you the
permission,
path.
Gave me the path. Move this way a little bit, maybe. So now, when you land down here, what do you want to do?
So my first instinct is I'm in deep trouble.
I
need to get the heck out of here now.
There you go. So you see what we're proving right now is that no matter where you land, you want to move.
Right.
When you are in a good position, like top of side mount, you want to move. When you're in one of the worst places you could be, let's just say, bottom of an arm bar right here, you want to move.
Yep.
The theme, wherever you go in jiu-jitsu, you want to move. And ask me what I want to do right now.
What do you want to do, Ryron?
Absolutely nothing. I just want to make sure that you don't get out. That's it. Go ahead and move.
I want out.
I just don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here with me all day. Please don't leave me is what I'm thinking. Please don't go anywhere. I just want to stay right here. Jim, ask me if I want his arm. Jim,
Ryron, do you want his arm?
I do not want his arm. I do not want to armbar him. I don't. Now, if he wants to get armbarred, then I'll take it. There was a moment right there where he kind of wanted to, but I was too, you know. So you see those moments where your hands kind of transition?
Yeah.
You kind of jump from grip to grip?
Yeah.
And I think you held your bicep right there. It was kind of a weak grip, but I just kind of slapped it out.
Right.
But that's not me really wanting it. That's me saying, oh, all right,
Yeah,
it's not really
waiting.
safe, so I'll accept it. Versus, yes, you see that?
Yeah, I do this, you know, you're kind of illuminating it for me, but I do this in certain positions, and I feel like I should do it in more.
Everyone,
Yeah.
every single one. There is no time where you cannot do this.
So in my head, there are certain submissions, and this is incorrect.
Certain positions
and submissions, like a collar choke or something, where I'm like, oh, this is the opportunity, go. But I should really be applying that to different submissions, because you just did that to me in armbar. You know, you didn't go until I was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated.
Changing grips, yeah.
I'm not thinking as if we're in here right now. I'm thinking, you know, I'm on the mats training when I'm down there. I'm like, I want to give you the right reaction. And I want out. You know, I'm changing grips because I'm frustrated.
Yes.
So I need to get out of here. This is, you know, I'm going to lose the match. People are watching. I'm embarrassed. You know, people are.
Yes.
So that's in my head.
Now, kind of what you talked about, most of the time that we get to this final position, when we're on the outside and we see someone on the bottom, our first thought is, oh, man, the bottom guy's done, right? We pretty much can conclude that the person that's down here, it's over. Very rare do we, now, more recently, people are becoming very flexible and very skillful in escaping that bottom position, and they kind of have a reputation for that, and especially no gi, that's very slippery and they understand it. But you can agree that the feeling is like, it's bad for the bottom guy.
It's almost like we're projecting.
Yeah, projecting for sure, yes.
Destiny, right?
I don't know if we're manifesting, but we're projecting it based off of our
mentality. Yeah.
well, our experiences too, what we've seen, our past. So the question is, and I do agree that most people, when they get up here on top and they wrap this final position, that they're gonna take the arm. 80% are probably catching the arm. I'm not talking about new blue belts. Lots of escapes happen, but once you're in that purple brown belt realm, people are catching, they're getting it, they're catching it in most cases. Now, here's what I'm thinking about this whole idea of like, if you can break people's grips and take the arm and take it and take it and take it, it feels good, and it almost makes you believe that that is the way. Because you succeed 5, 10, 20, 400 times over 3 years, you caught 400 arm bars, you succeed so much, you believe that that's the way. But then you meet somebody who's also a brown belt or a black belt, and you get them in an arm bar, and they are like, boom, they've been arm barred 3,000 times, and you've caught, let's just say, 1,500 arm bars. So now you take the I want this arm now approach, because it's been working for you for so long. But then all of a sudden you meet your match, and this person now has the defense and they have the understanding to wait for the opening, and then you lose the arm bar. So what do? For example, I know, like my brother Henner again, who's obviously, lay down please right here, is my worst enemy. In the fun sense of saying things, right? That I know that when I get here, I know that catching Henner's arm is not going to be easy, and he has long legs. His elbows are going to want to lift my ankle right here. He's gonna pull his elbow to the ground. He's gonna grab his own collar. He's gonna push my knee off his head. He's gonna spin and do a back roll and kind of hitchhike his way out. All kinds of options that he's gonna wanna do from here. So when I get here, same as side control. What I wanna do is I wanna stop your first 3, 4, 5 escape attempts. I don't wanna break this grip because I know that if my focus is on breaking the grip,
I would explode.
my focus is not on controlling you. So I know that when we land here, once again, when I land here, my ego knows something about your ego and that your ego wants to get out. So I want time. And then once I can control you here for 30, 40 seconds, I'm gonna remove my hands. Hands on the ground now. And now, go ahead and escape.
It's almost like I don't know how to escape, because this is such a weird position.
And part of the reason why you don't know how is because I'm not behaving like most.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you're here, relax. People go hold your hands again a little bit. They go like this. They lean, lean, lean. What do you do from here?
I mean, I would just...
Yeah! You kind of slipped out of my grip. Go back down.
It's almost like, what is this guy doing and what? How am I stuck here?
I'm not giving you the behaviors. Move this way a little bit. I'm not giving you the behaviors that you're so familiar with. I pull my hands out, and now go ahead, 20 seconds. I just want to know, can you get out when I have no hands? And then maybe, let's say I take off one leg.
Oh, this is worse. Getting into worse spots here.
But you said that's the game.
Yeah, that's very strange. Like when you took the leg, that's crazy because I've never even thought about that. When you took the hand out, I was like, this is not jiu-jitsu position anymore. This is something strange that I've never felt. And I had to think, and my thinking basically made it so even though you're higher level than me, you still were many steps ahead just because you knew a position that I've never even experienced.
And the question is, when do I ever remove my arm? Never when it matters.
Right.
Okay? But I'm just practicing.
Right. It's just
I'm training. I'm training my legs. I want to become more familiar and I want to be more confident in my legs as a control.
That's a great drill.
So because I already know that you're not going to escape when I have my arm around and I'm here. So then I say, okay, let me use Ben. Let me use him. Let me pull my hand out and do no hands. There's a good chance he's going to escape. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, a little escape happens. But I don't see that as, oh, I lost him. I see that as, I had one. My ego said, let go of the arm and let's just use legs. And then, let's say you slipped out of that. Then my ego says, okay, let me at least transition onto the top somehow.
Yeah, I didn't know how to, like, even when I did free my torso, I didn't know how to react after.
You didn't know where to go.
Yeah, because I didn't know where you were controlling.
Oftentimes people pull their elbow, rotate this way, rotate. People pull their elbow to the ground, go ahead. And I just go boom. And now maybe you turn towards me, go ahead. And I go boom. And maybe you come on top. And I go boom, into a triangle. So who knows? That's just one option, but the point is that as the arm is lost, I push myself on top of you.
Right.
So you see how, number one, full arm control.
Right.
Number two, no arm control. Number three, no leg control, but positional control.
Right.
And then the last option is maybe another submission if it makes sense.
Right, and you're going into movements that, like, I don't, usually when I see a movement or when I feel a movement, I'm like, okay, I can replicate that. But I can't replicate what you just did because I've never even done it once, I would say.
I understand. Now,
unique.
So here's how we get there. This is the secret recipe. So if when you land in a position, let's say that final arm lock control, if I can almost always take the arm here with our students here at Gracie University, I always get the arm. I can get it 99.99% of the time. Now, even though I can get it pretty much all the time, I don't take it more than half the time, because I want to create a reality where I can't. I'm almost like manufacturing a scenario that doesn't exist. I'm making half of my training partners better than they are. And I'm saying, hey, oh, I lost the arm. Boom, go on top, transition. So you see, because that's how I become familiar and I become so fluid in my follow-up behaviors after having lost the mount. The arm lock position. Whereas most people, what they do is that they'll take 700 arm bars over 5 years. They will never say, hey, you know what? Let me not take this arm bar. From a place like selfishly, let me not take it so I can better understand what to do against somebody whose arm I won't be able to take.
Right.
So I know that when I spar with Henner tomorrow, lay down please, that when I side mount him, I will not be able to have these amazing grips all the time. I know I will lose them. It's only natural. He's very good. So then I start with you like this. Go ahead. You see that? I already start with you with these with less grips, because I'm familiarizing myself with the different holds that I'm gonna need to use against my more advanced training partner. The same goes for the arm bar. I know that when I get here with my brother, there's a chance that he does something, that he pulls the elbow to the ground, boom, freeze. And because of that, I don't control your arm so tight. I pull my hand out, because now you will pull your elbow to the ground, and then I can do this. And then I can go boom, boom, and I can go here. Or you saw earlier, I did this. When we were here, rotate a little this way. We did this, and I think you were holding somehow. I had no, and I switched, boom, and I switched to here. So,
I think you said something really important here on that people should think about is there's definitely people who watch this and train that they're in academies where they're probably the top dog.
Yes.
Right? Like me, for example, I own my own academy, so when I go and train, it's tough for me to get a very hard roll, and that's a great way to enhance your training partners.
Yes.
And I've heard of people doing this. And I've always I've heard of world champions training with like blue belts and white belts, and I was like, how in the world could they be world champion training? And that's actually like probably how they're doing it.
well, I wonder, are they letting their blue belts mount them and catch them in arm bars, and then they're practicing arm bar defenses? Because for example, do you think that when I get mounted by my blue belts, do I get mounted by blue belts and go like this? Take my arm right here. Do I do this with blue belts? Go on top, spin for the arm, blue belt. Do I let myself land here with blue and purple belts?
Probably. All the
But
time.
why would I do that?
Just to test yourself. Just to.
Well, not to test myself, because I'm training.
Right. You're
I'm
helping them.
preparing myself.
What's this blue belt gonna do? Let me listen to what this blue belt
Well,
has to
he
say.
might beat me though. What if he beats me?
It's training.
No, we can't just go. You see this, you guys, I can't train with Henner every day. It's unsustainable. Or even a handful of other guys that are very advanced. I don't want that. But I use somebody who has less experience to get here. The question is it worth the risk? Let's say 10% of the time it goes south. And when I play in the deep end like this, I get caught, boom. 90% of the time, I build more experiences. I'm spending more time in the position. And because I spend more time there, I then have a little more understanding and a little more comfort to be able to do what? Nothing until what is given? An opportunity to escape, like you gave me earlier.
Right. I think that aspect of jiu-jitsu is almost gone, where if I see somebody high level, in a competition, when somebody passes the guard and they're settled in side control, it's almost always the match is over. The guy on top just wins, because the guy on bottom usually has like two, whale kicks, and then that's it. They get submitted or they're just stuck. They don't have any plan to escape, and
Yeah.
they kind of just have that That's what I see. Is I see that defense in jiu-jitsu is like trained. Probably like 90% of the time is trained on attacks. 10% defense.
Yes. Now, you're talking about escapes also.
Yeah. No, just I mean like defense.
Bottom position behaviors.
Yeah. Just any.
So you're saying in competition, you see someone get side mounted.
Yeah.
They do 2 big kicks and they can't get out, and then you say in your mind, you're like, wow, it's a wrap. The top guy has 3 more points.
Yeah.
There's only 40 seconds left, a minute.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna lose. And you know
Yeah.
what? That in that world, he might lose. And I don't even care if he loses. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes 30 seconds left, you cannot escape. Now, if you would like to escape at all costs, 30 seconds left, you're under by 5 points. If you need to escape in 30 seconds, I don't really have the answers for that. I'm just gonna tell you, just go crazy, but do it knowing that there's a risk that you may go so crazy that you expose a guillotine or an arm. Do you understand? You know the risks involved in just going crazy.
And plus, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu style is it's not a point system. It's no time limit, and that's it's just a different style. And that I think was illuminated in your match with Andre Galvao, where I felt that you did all these things and he couldn't attack, and in the end it was almost like you were coming on and the time ran out.
Possibly. And now you're saying Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
But let's be very clear that did Helio Gracie do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?
No, he just did jiu-jitsu.
He just did Jiu-Jitsu. So I understand why you're saying Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but it's just simply Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
Now, it's Jiu-Jitsu that is happening all around the world where people, when there is a time, when they're against the clock and there is 30 seconds left, even if that clock is in the gym with their friends and no one's watching, maybe like 1 or 2 people are watching from the sidelines, you still behave as if you cannot be caught on your back in those last 30 seconds. So they're in a competition, but they're in a competition and they're not even in a competition.
Right.
They're always in a competition.
That's every night in advanced classes all over the world.
Yes. And that is Jiu-Jitsu. That is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. It's, in my opinion, it's all very much one and the same. Because there are people that are teaching Jiu-Jitsu out there, but yet they haven't fallen victim to this idea that, oh, hey, there's 30 seconds left and I'm under by 2 points. I need to get out now. And they're just teaching Jiu-Jitsu. They're not Gracies, and they teach Jiu-Jitsu. You see that? And that is Jiu-Jitsu. That's a part of Jiu-Jitsu. Now, you can neglect that and say, you know what? I want to get out now. I want to get out in 20 seconds. You guys, that is also Jiu-Jitsu. And both of them, there is a risk. Right. The one of not escaping, there's no hurry, there's a risk. In the world of competition, you will lose by 2 points.
Yeah.
Which hopefully you don't beat too hard on yourself when you lose by 2 points. And then there's a risk when you explode out. The risk is that you start to believe that that is the way. And you feel like, yeah, nobody can hold me down.
Yeah, I think opening up your mind to the different possibilities, I think, is the most important, and I think that the 2 things you said that I think were most important was the game within a game.
Yes.
It's not just about me tapping you or you tapping me, or if we're going to roll, if you tap me 10 times, then I'm a failure. I could have maybe controlled you for 15 seconds and I won.
Yes, small victories.
Yes, I won that day.
The big question for you guys is this, if you're this whole thing about being on the bottom and not moving for 30 seconds and the round ending, you just have to ask yourselves, is the reason why you move when you're on the bottom and you don't do what I just said, which is stay on the bottom and don't move, is the reason why you're trying to escape and twisting and turning and bumping, is it because you want to escape to submit the person? Or is it because you're uncomfortable where you are? When I side mounted you and you said, I want to get out, I want to frame, I want to turn, recover guard, is that because you want to submit me and get on top?
I guess the ultimate deep down goal is that, yes.
Correct.
Ultimate deep.
So you want to beat me, and you want to beat me because that says that you are good.
Yes.
It says that you are greater than me, not good, greater than me.
Yes.
And that's what we want. Everybody wants to be the better one. Two people shake hands, we both want to be the better one. So I do believe that that is one reason why people fight to escape.
Right.
Another reason why people don't sit still is because they're uncomfortable.
Right.
And because they know that if they stay there, the chances of them losing, because they lack comfort and understanding in the position, that they might lose. And you're right, beating someone says that you're better. Losing says that you are worse, that you're less than. So it's kind of the same. If you stay, you're going to be less than. If you get out, you're going to be better. So we might as well get out. So, and that's the risky part, is that it feels a little bit, it doesn't feel responsible to be fighting to escape positions until you have grown somewhat comfortable in that position.
That's a great point that I think most academies don't ever cover. Is there's all, whenever, even me, I'll just use me as the example. Whenever I teach bottom mount or bottom side control, right? It's all about, it's like 90% escape.
Yes.
It should probably be, what would you
50-50.
say? 50-50, right?
At least start with 50-50.
Right. Yeah, you need to be comfortable. You need to be able to, these are just things like I'm going to definitely apply some of the stuff you did today, like that heavy elbow, the head position, those are things that I almost feel like it's not, I'll just be honest, it's not cool to teach. People didn't come here for this. That's kind of how
people didn't come here, but it's not cool. I love it.
That's how people think, though.
Thank you for saying that.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, what are you thinking?
So no, that you knocked it out the park with that one. That reminds me of an instructor. That's what he said. His first lesson is he'll show something very practical, but he's got to end the lesson with something sexy to keep them coming back, to make someone feel like And these are the things these are the details of learning that are not necessarily a typical classroom session. No one's going to come to talk about a little detail.
Heavy elbow.
Right.
Not until you're a brown belt.
So to me,
it's
that's
usually
game changing.
Yeah, and
But
that's usually I'm sorry, but that's usually after the training's over. That's when you learn those little morsels of gold, like just place the foot here, just those details, right?
It is true that when someone's very new, the first 20, 40 classes, they don't understand the beauty of something as small as shifting their weight, posting a foot, making an elbow heavy. They can't even appreciate it.
Right.
So it is true that we can hold off. In the beginning, it's very basic, elbow escapes, hip escapes. The problem is that as we advance more, and we really don't want to lose because we don't want to be less than, and we really want to win because we want to be better than, the things that help us win are these big, fancy reversals and submissions. And that's what we just seek more of. And let me tell you this. You said that people don't want to come to class for this kind of stuff. They didn't come here for that. That's kind of the energy that we, as instructors, sometimes feel.
Yes.
It might not be the truth. But as an instructor, you think that you want to show them something that's like, beautiful, big peacock feathers. So they say, wow, I want to buy that. Now, it's true in the beginning, maybe. But let me tell you this. There are some students out there that appreciate the smallest detail. And in most cases, those are people that have been around for like 3.5 years, 4.5 years. They realize that jiu-jitsu is not like so overwhelming. That jiu-jitsu, they have an understanding of it. And you show them one thing, you say, put your foot here and raise your hips. And they're like, wow.
Yeah, those are lifelong. Those are people who are going to train jiu-jitsu lifelong,
Now,
I feel like.
what if we can make newer students see these gold nuggets?
It's just in the way you teach. If you taught the way you did with enthusiasm, energy, and you demonstrated, and I can't, do anything, I feel like that's highly valuable. And I feel like, even me, I think I can do it. I can.
You
use
can do
your
it.
method. But at the same time, I'm sure instructors all over the world think this way, and people that listen to this podcast, they're more like on the intellectual side, right? They're sitting through, listening to me talk about mindset and stuff. So, yeah, I think that it's just these things are important. It's not just about the newest, worm guard or the color, berimbolo. These things, that I just feel it's just so important, and to be honest, I didn't care about this until I was a black belt. You know, and that's strange, right? I didn't care.
Yeah, and here's kind of bringing this whole thing full circle.
Yeah.
So how do we start? We're talking about ego. We started it with a positional situation. What are you thinking when you're on top? What is the person thinking when they're on bottom? And then we delved into it, and then we got into those golden nuggets of the leg work. We got into this is what managing your ego looks like when you start manipulating your legs. Now, it's not even about did they escape? Did they submit?
I think start with there's many ways to win. Right?
There's many ways to win, but you got to be able to have an understanding or an acceptance that these little ways to win exist. You just got to get off of this path.
Stick to one. Let's just say if you're at home and you hear this and you're going to training tonight and you just do Huron's, heavy elbow. Just today. That's all I'm going to do today. I'm just going to give the side control. I'm going to give the heavy elbow. I'm going to let people try to Kimura me. They're going to probably go for that Kimura because your hand isn't in place.
Right.
So the whole day you spend doing this, and I think
There's your victory.
That's a win. I'm due tonight.
And you don't tap anyone out.
No.
And everything. And
Kimura
I'm
me.
going to work on the leg work.
100 Kimuras today. If you, I'm going to let 100 Kimura attacks happen, and if I can survive 80 of them, I'm pretty happy. Right?
But meanwhile, that blue belts, I got them or I didn't get them. So it's like we're in two different worlds here.
Yes.
So now, so Hiran, wrapping this thing up, we're talking jiu-jitsu. How do people use these principles in their everyday thing? Not everyone's taking jiu-jitsu, right? Especially now where people aren't allowed to train. So give us one of these exercises of ego, of managing your ego, of seeing those gold nuggets in regular life. Because we just saw it what it looks like on the mat.
So what do we know about someone on the top of armbar? They want to go from top of armbar to the next position. Everybody always wants to move forward, go forward, go forward. There's a lot to be said about really truly being wherever you are. I am guilty of this. I can be with my kids, and we could be playing, and there's a basket of laundry right there. And now I like to, when I see things that need to get done in front of me, I'm very much, don't start to do it. So I'm playing with my kids, and they're playing toys. And now I start to fold laundry while I'm playing with them. So you see how I'm only half with my kids, and I'm half with the laundry.
Right.
It's the same as the person who has an arm bar. That person is trying to take the arm bar and control this person. It's split half and half. And that may work sometimes. Some kids might allow this. But my kids don't. They're like, Dad, play with us. They want my full attention, and I want to give it to them. So pay attention to how when you are, in a meeting with someone, having a meeting, you're at work. You might be at work thinking about lunch. When you think about lunch, stop and then give that person your undivided attention. Kind of recalibrate yourself and, come back to that meeting. So being present where you are, full attention to that. Now, once that's done, then full attention somewhere else. You land in a new position, full attention. It's a new beginning. I'm on top of side mount, full control to hold you down. You escape. Now I'm on the bottom.
Yeah, stop thinking about the submission before the control is taken care of, right?
Yes, and and stop thinking about the escape before the defense is taken care of.
Right. I'm guilty of this all day. When somebody's side, takes my back, right? I'm already thinking about how I'm going to end up in side control. I'm not thinking about the neck. I got choked out the other day. I was thinking I'm already going to be in side control in 3 seconds. See you later, and then I'm out.
You mean you're going to get out and go on top?
Yeah, I'm going to get out. I'm going to scoot out the side. I'm going to come over, and the next thing I'm on top, and I'm going to get you the Kimura.
Whereas when someone has my back, my first thought is, hello. Hello. And I'm so curious to see what you're going to try.
What do you have to say about
Ask
this?
me if I want to escape your back control. No. Why would I want to escape? I'm so curious to what you can offer me.
That was great. Hello. I'm going to have to try that.
Hello. Everywhere you land, you get thrown, bottom of the side mount. Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Do your
nice
worst.
to meet you. What do you have for me today? Right. You see, that energy right there, that is the complete opposite of this is bad. This is dangerous. I gotta go. It's not the case.
Yeah, most people need to train like that to train for life. It's just a win-win. I want to train right now because I'm thinking that way.
You mean you're excited to roll
Yeah, I'm
more right
excited
now?
to roll because
Too bad we can't.
a lot of roll. Yeah, we can't be trained, but a lot of anxiety from rolling. I'm a black belt, and I get anxiety. I'm like, man, I'm
Hello.
It's time to prove myself today in training. I got this visitor, from out of town. I'm thinking this stuff, and I really should be thinking hello.
We're all here. We're all working together. We're all playing jiu-jitsu all day, and we're building our comfort. And it's true, some of you are competitors. Some may fight professionally. At those times, there's money on the line and sponsorships and your livelihood. I understand. What
if you spent a day doing this? What if
I'm
you
saying
spent a couple days?
all that training is going to help those that are even professional athletes. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Jim, it's a great episode. Follow us at Jiu-Jitsu Mag. Follow Ryron. Is it at Ryron Gracie?
Yep.
Instagram. Gracie University. What's the website, Ryron?
GracieUniversity.com.
GracieUniversity.com.
Be present.
Be present.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.